My name is Christian Ray, and I moved halfway across the country to build a blacksmithing forge from the ground up so that I could be part of the centuries-old tradition of making beautiful and lethal masterpieces out of metal. It hasn't been easy, but here we are. This is Ronin Blades. Hello viewers, welcome back to Ronin Blades. Last time, we finished the rough forging, sharpening, and etching of our Kris Dagger, and today we're working on the handle. Now I have our blade all wrapped up so you can't see it, and this is to prevent any scratches or damages to it, because the last thing you want after you etch something is to have to etch it all over again because it got scratched. Let's get started. So today for our I look good. Today for our handle, we're going to go real simple with it. I figure our blade is ornate enough. I don't want a handle to rob any attention from it. So I have ebony wood and brass. And I'm just going to put the brass on top of our ebony handle and on bottom. And then I'm just going to give it an hourglass shape. It's going to have one uniform shape. It just ends and begins with brass with wood in the middle. Very simple, not attention stealing, and very usable. With our materials gathered, we just have to marry them together. I'm going with a peened tang construction. So our tang goes all the way through with a little bit sticking out of the end. We heat up the end and we hit it down. What that does is it compresses the handle materials together so they won't move, and this part gets bigger than the holes drilled in it, so it can't come back out. It's a very traditional way of doing it, very old, and it's pretty simple. Let's get to it. I get our ebony wood cut, our brass sawed to size, and everything drilled through. Then I use a Dremel to perfectly match our holes with the tang. So our pieces are stacked together, there's no gaps in between them, and I have our little piece of tang jutting out right here. So the theory behind peening a tang, like I mentioned earlier, is that it flattens it down, it kind of mushrooms it out. This pushes all the handle material together, leaving no gaps and making so they won't wiggle, and it gets big on this side, too big for these pieces to bounce back out again. That's the theory. What it takes to do it is a lot of heat. Now I don't have an oxyacetylene torch I can use right now, I just have to use my MAP gas, but as long as I can get this tang hot enough where if I hit it, it'll squish a little bit. That's all I need. I used my MAP gas to heat up the end of the tang when suddenly it can't get hot enough. So I make a few calls and get my hand on an oxyacetylene torch, which quickly heats up the end of the tang so I'm able to hit it down. Doing this a few more times gets me a nice, tight, peened construction. It's then off to the grinder to turn our newly peened blocks of material into a nice, smooth handle. I begin by giving everything a nice uniform shape, and then I use the curvature of the grinder to get a nice hourglass shape. It's thin in the center, but swells on the top and bottom to lock our hand in place. Our handle finished, it's on to the buffing wheels and finally our finishing oils before I can proudly present our piece. And there you have it, a twist Damascus Kris Dagger with an ebony wood and brass handle. Ronin Blades' first official Damascus was an amazing success. It looks great, it feels great in the hand, and it was a lot of fun to make. But it's not just special in the sense that it was our first Damascus. It's also special because of all the things you've seen me make on this show, this is the first one that's available for sale. In fact, this and a lot of other pieces you haven't seen me make are available for sale on roninblades.org and our Etsy shop, Ronin Blades LLC. If you've liked what you've seen me make and like the way I work, please check it out and see if there's something there you want to take home for yourself. And as always, thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. Ha! The fun one.